All right, let's dive into one of the most incredible and honestly unsung processes happening inside you this very second: transepithelial transport. Think of it as the microscopic, intelligent gatekeeper that's deciding what gets to become a part of you. I mean, seriously, have you ever stopped to think about it? You eat some food, right? But how do the actual nutrients from that food get out of your gut and into your bloodstream to power everything you do? It doesn't just, soak through. There's a system. And that system, it's basically a highly sophisticated, incredibly regulated border crossing. It's a living wall that is so selective about what it lets pass, making sure only the good stuff gets a visa to enter your body. So what is this smart border? Well, it's a single layer of cells, and it's called the intestinal epithelium. This is the lining of your gut, and its job is, without a doubt, one of the most important in your entire body. Now, the key word on this slide, the one I really want you to notice, is polarized. It means the top surface of these cells, the part facing your gut, is totally different from the bottom surface that's facing your blood. They have different doors, different functions, different rules. It's a one-way street, and that's completely by design. So for any molecule to get from your gut into your blood, it has to cross this barrier. And it turns out it really only has two potential ways to do it. Let's take a look at how that works. Okay, so option one is what we call the paracellular route. This is basically trying to squeeze through the tiny gaps between the cells. It works for some really small stuff like water and certain ions. But for the valuable cargo, the important nutrients like glucose, there's only one way in. And that's the transcellular route, a VIP pass that takes them directly through the cell itself. So why can't a bigger molecule like glucose just sneak between the cells? Well, it's because of these guys, tight junctions. You can picture them as these protein fences that literally stitch the cells together so tightly that larger molecules are just physically blocked. They're like the bouncers at the club door for that paracellular path. And by the way, when these junctions fail, that can lead to problems like leaky gut, where things that shouldn't cross the barrier start getting into your system. All right, so let's follow one of these VIP molecules. We'll use glucose as our hero. This is where the whole polarized cell thing and that transcellular route become just absolutely brilliant. Okay, so check out this process. On the gut side, the top, glucose can't get in by itself. No way. It has to use this special buddy system door. It's called a symporter, where sym means together. It has to grab two sodium ions to come in with it. Once they're all inside, the glucose travels across the cell. And then on the other side, the blood-facing side, it leaves through a totally different private exit. It's a one-way door called a uniport, where uni means one. It leaves all by itself. Now, you might be wondering what's actually powering that buddy system door on the way in. It's such a clever trick. The cell uses energy, but indirectly. It burns energy on these Na+, K+ pumps to constantly kick sodium out on the blood-facing side. This makes the sodium concentration inside the cells super low, so there's this powerful drive for sodium to rush back in from the gut. And our glucose molecule, it just cleverly hitches a free ride on that powerful current. It's incredibly efficient. And this whole principle of selective polarized transport, it's not just for absorbing the nutrients from your food. It's also absolutely fundamental to how we manage water, how we get rid of waste, and even how we defend our bodies. This is one of the golden rules of biology. As your cells are actively pumping all these solutes like sodium and glucose across the barrier, they create this high concentration on one side. Well, water, just through simple osmosis, naturally follows to try and balance things out. So your body doesn't really have to pump water. It just pumps the solutes, and the water dutifully follows along for the ride. And this is just an amazing example of transcellular transport in action for defense. Your immune system makes antibodies on the inside of your body, but you need them on the outside, in your gut, to fight off invaders. So what happens? The epithelial cell grabs these antibodies, packages them up, shuttles them straight through its own cytoplasm, and then just spits them out into the gut. It's a perfect internal delivery service that creates our first line of defense. So cool. All right, so all of these different transport systems, for nutrients, for water, for immune molecules, they're all part of a much, much bigger picture. And that picture is about maintaining the perfect internal conditions for life, something we call homeostasis. And maybe nowhere is this balancing act more critical than in regulating pH. You know, the acidity or alkalinity inside your cells, This isn't a minor detail. It's literally everything. All the enzymes and all the proteins that are running the complex machinery of your cells are incredibly sensitive to pH. If it drifts even a tiny bit from the ideal level, the whole system just grinds to a halt. And just look at this. It's not one single pH inside a cell. A cell is more like a house with completely different climates in every single room. The main living space, the cytoplasm, is near neutral. Your mitochondria, the powerhouses, are actually quite alkaline. And then you have the lysosomes, the cell's recycling centers, and they are intensely acidic, like tiny little stomachs. How on earth does a cell manage all this at once? Well, it manages it with yet another army of specialized transport proteins. You've got antiporters, where anti means opposite, that act like revolving doors, swapping one ion for another to kick acid out. You have symporters, just like the one glucose used, that pull in alkaline buffers. And then you have these high-energy pumps that forcefully move protons to create those super acidic zones. Every single compartment is actively, precisely, and constantly managed by these tiny machines. So let's just take a step back for a second. From that glucose symporter that absorbed your lunch to the proton pump that's acidifying a lysosome right now, these aren't just abstract ideas. They are real physical machines, trillions and trillions of them performing a constant, perfectly choreographed dance inside every single one of your cells to keep you alive. The transport systems we've just looked at, they're really just one chapter in this immense, invisible story that's playing out inside of us. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other complex, beautiful, and absolutely vital systems are humming along inside you, right at this moment, completely without you even noticing?